Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, and we have a lot of things to talk about with The Sims today. I know there's also a survey that's been circulating, and I'll definitely make a separate video for that this weekend because, well, if you've seen that survey, I think you can guess why. That definitely needs its own dedicated video, but there's a bunch of other things that happened mostly today. We got patches for The Sims 1 and Sims 2 Legacy Editions again. They finally released a statement about the Sims 4 issue that I've been complaining about the most over the past few months. We got a date for the businesses and hobbies gameplay stream, and we also got the laundry list. That was yesterday. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with that upcoming live stream. So if you go to the Sims YouTube channel and go over to the live tab, you can see now there is the Sims 4 Businesses and Hobbies base game update live stream scheduled for February 28th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I find interesting about this is that they specifically shout out the base game update too. Not only that, it's about the expansion pack. So at this point, assuming that on the 25th with that whole eyes emoji thing they teased on the roadmap, that we would get the update then and the surprise being burglars, then I guess it's just that they would show us in detail everything about burglars. Given the sneaky nature of burglars, I wonder if they would actually do something funny in the patch notes and be like, well, there's a surprise in there, but we're not going to tell you. You got to find out for yourself. And then it's like, oh no, my stuff is getting stolen. And then on that live stream on the 28th, then they say that, yep, it's burglars. So here's more details in case you didn't already know about them. Next thing, they have finally addressed the whole corruption issue with residential rentals and for rent. So on the Sims Direct, they say, we're aware of issues impacting for rent and save files and are investigating this further. Please continue to share details through the EA Forums thread and upload any impacted save files to assist our investigation. So this is the same issue I've talked about in previous videos, though it is apparently possible to still have this happen to you without for rent installed. Residential rentals amplify this issue and make it much easier for that to happen, where if you do have a lot of residential rentals, your save can become corrupt. You may not even notice it at first, but apparently it typically starts in Willow Creek and slowly spreads to other worlds. And you'll know you're affected for sure if you see orange exclamation marks over some of your lots. And then you'll have infinite loading screens if you try to load it to the lots. So it's pretty bad. And once this corruption starts, it's highly unlikely you're able to rescue it. I've heard in certain cases it might work if you uninstall for rent, but really the best thing is to remember to back up your saves folder often so that if you do run into corruption, you can roll back to a previous save, and hopefully you can find one that's far back enough that it's not yet affected by corruption. So losing some progress is still a whole lot better than losing everything, especially if you say do a legacy challenge. Or even in my case, while I rarely do challenges, my main save is one that I've built up over the past 10 years. Since the very first day The Sims 4 released in 2014, and I've added so many households, so many lots, and even done a lot of customization outside of the lots using the tool mod to add more activities and such to my neighborhoods, and I do not want to lose all of that, so it's a pretty scary issue to have. While we're on the topic of Sims 4 issues, let's talk about yesterday's laundry list. Starting with the base game, Sims will no longer walk through the walls and flip from one place to another. Walls are no longer missing for the bathroom at the Movers and Shakers gym in Willow Creek. Fixed spine distortion for male Sims with feminine physical frames. Sims with the Renaissance aspiration will no longer complete the aspirational task of reach level 3 of any career without joining a career reaching said level, fixed basements disappearing when a bigger lot is imported to a smaller lot from the library, jagged edges will no longer stick out of ears with gauges, and adjusted objects that previously could not be placed next to raised platforms. Affecting multiple packs, Thrift Tea Bubble Tea counter in the Thrift Tea shop will have an NPC vendor properly tend to it. Yes, okay, this is one that I have noticed and talked about before. Glad they're finally fixing that one. Household funds should not differ depending on how households are being placed from the gallery. No more households importing with negative simoleons. Specific full body outfits will no longer result in body shape changes. For cottage living, Grim Reaper arrival for the chickens' notification is no longer triggered when animal aging is disabled. Pumpkin conserve option in the canning menu is now available for any color of pumpkins. Discover University, early graduated teen Sims who enrolled in university can now tutor. Get famous, new Sims will no longer start with negative fame, and their celebrity reputation is displayed correctly in the Simology panel. Yes, I have noticed that for quite a while. Whenever I put a new Sim in my game, they always have a little bit of a negative reputation for no explainable reason. So that's great that they're finally going to fix that, though I didn't realize they also had negative fame. But also, the hair and makeup chair will not cause any facial distortions for Sims when changing hairstyles. High school years. Teen Sims who are followed to school by the player and returned back home will be able to post about all recent events to the Social Bunny app. Home Chef Hustle. Convinced to buy interaction will no longer serve as an invitation for an NPC Sim to enter your Sim's house. Nifty Knitting. Fixed action queue issue for resume knitting. Oh yeah, that's another one that's been around for a while. Sims moving from one rocking chair to another can now resume knitting without a routing error. Route fail is no longer triggered when Sim stands and performs resume knitting project for beanie socks and hanging plant holders. Sims will stop performing the knitting animation after canceling the interaction. For parenthood, child Sim should not perform the make a mess interaction continuously. Oh, good. Yes, hopefully then it will happen less often now. I mean, I don't mind the interaction existing, but yeah, geez, it's a little out of hand. But Snowy Escape, active lifestyles no longer appear grayed out in the lifestyles UI screen. Okay, that's good. But one issue I've had with lifestyles is that I often get a notification that a Sim has progressed towards unlocking a certain lifestyle. And when I go to the lifestyles UI, I can't tell which one they progress towards because there's no indication. When I fully unlock the lifestyle, then yeah, of course, it is shown pretty clearly. But I think it is supposed to show that it's in progress. I think I've seen it a handful of times, but the vast majority, I don't see it. It just shows all the lifestyles that are just locked or hidden, but I have no idea what the game was really notifying me for. Anyways, that is it for the laundry list. I'm pretty disappointed that the weather bug is not listed. The one that started in January where weather can still be shown to be happening inside, and Sims can suffer from weather effects too. Like when my Sim was inside during a rainstorm and she was soaked even though she never went outside. Of course, not everything in the laundry list is the full patch note. Sometimes there are other things that are there that we didn't already know when the patch is actually out, but I'm not holding my breath. I'm worried that this is going to be one of those things that sticks around for months before it's fixed. Alrighty, now, lastly, let's talk about the patches that were released for The Sims 1 and Sims 2 Legacy Editions. So, with The Sims 1, got general stability improvements, addressed video player issues, performance improvement with AMD GPUs. On some systems, walls, floors, and other items might not appear on screen. The game could crash when zooming in or out of Calamity Forest, which is in Magic Town from Makin' Magic. Child Sims would sometimes show a missing animation error when interacting with mail. On some computers set to 2K resolution, visual artifacts or tearing could be present on various game screens. The blue panel on the bottom of the screen did not properly fill the horizontal space. Tiles near pool edges, sometimes displayed as empty and gray, and the burglar appearing could crash the game. Yes, I remember seeing a thread about that. It's just like, oh, the burglar steals not only your objects, but also your game stability. The joke just writes itself, but I'm glad that they have fixed that one. I can't help but imagine, though, what this bug would have been like back in the day, because that burglar music terrified me as a kid, just like a big jump scare. But then to also have the fear like, oh no, my game's about to crash. Although from what I've heard, it only crashes if the burglar is successful in swiping an item. So if the burglar gets caught right away, say if you like place a 2-tile wall at the edge of your lot and place a burglar alarm, as I sometimes did at the time, then you'd still be okay. Now let's move on to The Sims 2. General stability improvements in some situations. The game would show an error indicating too many iterations. Modular staircases could not be deleted and could be a source of infinite money. What? The dog sim is missing from the household after moving to a lot. The design tool palette chooser pop-up could go off screen and not be able to be dismissed or interacted with. Music tracks by Depeche Mode and Natasha Bedingfield have been restored. Oh, I was wondering what tracks were missing because it seemed like all my favorites are there, but no, I liked both of those tracks too, and I didn't realize they were gone. But okay, that's really great that they're back. Actually, to talk about Natasha Bedingfield's similar song for a second, the one that she did was for the Free Time expansion, and it's Pocket Full of Sunshine. I'm sure many of you have heard it at least once. It used to play on the radio a lot. And around the time Free Time came out, they did a music video in The Sims 2 with that song, and I watched that so many times. They used to do music videos for Sims expansions back in the day, like more often, and that was the one I watched the most for sure. I was so excited about that pack. The mouse pointer, sim names, and info panel tooltips in Build By were sometimes not properly aligned, and beach lots could sometimes have incorrect terrain paint. And there we go, that's it for those two patches. So that's great that we're continuing to get more patches at a pretty steady pace. Now this is patch number 4 for both of these games. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video. Covered quite a lot today. I'm feeling productive. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on any of the topics I covered here. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.